Caitlin. I'm a zoo educator here at Happy Hollow Park and Zoo, and welcome to another of our virtual animal meet and greets. It's a gorgeous afternoon here in San Jose, nice and warm. So I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to one of our animals that really enjoys the warm weather. Here is one of our California desert tortoises. This is Tortellini, and he is approximately 29 years old. Now I say approximately, but actually he's one of the animals that we know his exact age. Tortellini was actually hatched right here on site at Happy Hollow. So he's been with us his entire life. Now, California desert tortoises, as you might guess, live in the wild in the California desert. So if you wanted to find a wild version of our friend Tortellini here, you would need to head south to LA and then head east out to the desert, and you just might be lucky enough to spot a wild California desert tortoise hanging out down there in the Mojave or the Sonoran deserts. Now, obviously, it's really hot in the desert, and like I said, he enjoys warm weather, but he's also very well adapted to survive in the warm weather. And one of the ways he survives is that he avoids the hottest parts of the day. So if you take a look at these claws, look at those nice long claws on Tortellini's feet, front and back. He will use those claws to dig himself a nice long burrow. Their burrows can be 6 feet long, which is ridiculous for a little tortoise like this. So he will dig himself a nice long underground burrow because it's always cooler underground, especially in the desert under that sand. So he will hang out underground during the hottest part of the day, and then he will come up in the evenings and at night to forage for his food. Now, he is an herbivore. If he was a human, you would call him a vegetarian. All that he eats are plants. Now in the desert, you can't be too picky about what kind of plant you're going to eat because there's not a lot of water, so there's not a lot of plants to grow. But he will take whatever he can get. He's actually evolved a nice sharp beak. If you can get a look at his face here, it's almost like a bird beak that allows him to chomp through cactus. Cactus has a hard, thick, waxy outer skin that protects it from most animals, but a desert tortoise can chomp right through that. And that's great for him because cactuses hold a lot of water inside. So he actually does not need to drink any liquid water. That is another way that he survives in the harsh desert climate. He can get all the water he needs from his food from plants like cactuses that hold that water inside. Now, Tortellini is a male desert tortoise, and it's actually not too hard to tell with tortoises. What you look for is you look for the bottom portion of their shell right under their neck. You'll see that Tortellini has this little part of his shell right here that sticks out from the rest. If it wasn't there, it would make a nice curve right across here, but he has this extra little bit here that protects his neck. We call that his gular horn. That's the scientific term for it. And the reason that he has that, and that all male tortoises have that, is to fight each other. Desert tortoises are very solitary. That means they like to live alone. They don't share their burrows, and they don't share their territory. So if they find another male tortoise in their territory, they will actually use that gular horn. He'll try and get it underneath the top part of the shell of the other tortoise, and he'll try to flip him over. Whichever tortoise can flip the other over first is the winner. Now, usually a tortoise can flip himself back, not always, but usually. But it's really unpleasant to be on your back in the hot sun for very long at all. So the losing tortoise is not going to be coming back anytime soon. Now, that's his offense, but he also has a fantastic defense that I'm sure you guys already know about, and that is the shell that turtles and tortoises are known for. So Tortellini's shell here keeps him safe from pretty much anything that might want to eat him as an adult. There are very, very few things that can crunch through a turtle or a tortoise shell? I know of two off the top of my head. One is a jaguar. Their jaws are incredibly strong. They can crunch right through a turtle shell. Lucky for tortellini, there's no jaguars in the California desert. The other is an alligator. Their jaws are also strong and they can eat turtles. No alligators in the desert either. So really, once he has this hard shell, he has very little to worry about other than finding food. He doesn't need to worry about predators. But it takes about 5 years for a desert tortoise's shell to fully harden to become that full adult shell. So for the first 5 years of their life, they do have to be extremely careful about predators. And one of the most common predators of baby tortoises is a bird that you're probably familiar with. We have them in San Jose too. Ravens. Ravens love eating baby tortoises. And they've flourished in some of the desert areas that are closer to humans, because ravens also like to scavenge on human trash. So ravens are actually a big problem, a big threat to desert tortoises. So ravens may be one of the biggest natural threats to desert tortoises, but they do also face some threats from humans as we expand our cities and expand the areas that we hang out in. So there are two big threats to them from us. One is getting crushed by a car on the highway, because they don't understand what a highway means when it cuts through their habitat in the desert. They're just walking along, and sometimes they do get hit by cars out in the California desert. So if you are going on vacation in the desert, maybe when it's safe to travel again, you want to go visit Death Valley or somewhere in that area, make sure that you follow the speed limit and keep your eyes open for what looks like a rock but might actually be a desert tortoise walking along the road. And the other threat is humans who try to pick them up and do things like take pictures with them. It might sound harmless, but when a desert tortoise is scared, one of the things it will do to try to defend itself is it will void its bladder. Sounds fancy, it's just a scientific way to say it will pee all over you or all over whatever's threatening it. Because generally if something pees on you, you're gonna drop it. You're not gonna try to eat it. But they store their urine because they try to get all the water out of it that they can. Again, since there's really no water to drink in the desert, they get it all from plants. So if they void their bladder all at once, if they empty their bladder and they don't have any urine left and they can't get any water to drink right away, they can actually die from dehydration. So please, if you are lucky enough to see a desert tortoise while you are visiting the desert, do not pick it up. Please just watch it from a safe distance. Use your telephoto lens, your zoom to take a cool picture. And then, as they say, take only memories and leave only footprints. Take your photos, take your memories, show people, tell people about it, but please don't try to pick up the tortoise itself. All right, we're gonna let Tortellini head back to his yard behind the education building here. Here's a final look at those cool scales on his arm, his nice long claws there, and his face with his tortoise-like beak. All right. I hope you all enjoyed meeting our California desert tortoise. We're hoping that we'll be able to see you all soon. Please stay safe and healthy in the meantime, and we'll see you next time. Bye.